So welcome to Isis in the Bible Summer Gathering Week number 8, Metu Neteru, Canopic Shrine. The question for today is, have you heard of the Hopi Prophecy? In this sacred session, we journey into the four gates of the soul, the Canopic Shrine not as a tomb, but as a living map of ascension. We explore how the ancient wisdom of the Hopi and the Neteru intertwine, revealing the cobra-guarded threshold of reincarnation, the sacred umbilical cord to the Queen of Heaven, and the universal call for the four peoples to rise as one. Come ready to remember what was never forgotten. Thanks for joining us today. So as we've shown you in the past weeks, the stars map the lands. So it's very apparent that the Hopi prophecy is about the stars, namely the four royal stars, the four watchers, and the four gatekeepers. So basically the four gates return, awakening the canopy within, because canopic and canopy, the firmament, are all one and the same. The four essences, which we'll talk a bit about later, nurturing stability, compassionate bravery, transcendent abstinence, and self-forgiveness, is important. So this is where this different cultures talk about the four races, or the Hopi, the four evangelists, the four royal stars, the four gates of heaven, the four watchers. You'll see these over and over again. The canopic jars are reinterpreted as spiritual essences, not organic containers. Remember, organ means music, essence. So they have these canopic jars, and they thought they were keeping organs with them. No, they weren't. They were always found empty. It's about essences that you have to keep. When you take the man of the black, which is over Africa, which has the royal star of Regulus in Leo, right? The red house in the Americas, which is the royal star, which is Aldebaran in Taurus. You have the yellow one, which is Scorpio, which is in China, right? Which is Antares, royal star Antares. And then in Aquarius, which is Fomalhaut. I didn't use the white man, I used the water man, because these all mimic all the different four corners and four things, but they're actually four essences. And I'm going to call upon Kat because she said there's a story about the Hopi prophecies on the walls there. Kat, can you jump in?
Yeah, we have a choice, apparently, or this was a prophecy. So I'm also hearing that timelines have merged. So I'm hoping it's all positive. But what they were saying is if you've seen the color wheel, the medicine wheel with the colors of the four black, white, brown, and yellow, red, and yellow, that's all the peoples, but it's also the directions, which Claudio's been talking about. So we can choose to unify and ascend, be a part of nature, the world will be better and improved, or we can go totally mechanical, materialistic, into the machine age, changing our bodies, and lose our divine connection with nature in doing so. And that's what I understand that choice to be at this time. They've even shown tracks on the rocks that show like trains and everything else that takes place. So which path will we choose now? Maybe there's a choice for all of us.
Awesome. Thank you, sister. So in physics, the path in the middle is the black hole where pure love is. So we have the two choices, like you say, up or in. So the further you go out, the more redshifted you are. The further you go in, the more towards the middle is pure love, where we all have to join in the center. So thank you for that. So I'm going to play a little video of what the Canopic Shrine is that they're talking about. And they're saying this was for King Tut and his tomb, and they're just so far off. It's not to do with that at all. We'll get into this, but you can see that there's cobras, and you can see like the Russian dolls, it's moving inward, right? That's a symbol of reincarnation and next lives. So these cobras, and like I said, I'll talk about that. They represent the guardians of getting to the point in the middle, because you can't get to that point in the middle if you have muddy waters. This is made like all of gold, and I wish I had really high resolution snapshots of all these because there's so much beautiful writings that's here. Like you can see here, there's Isis's image right there, the throne, and that's her right here, right? This is Isis. That'd be Eris, that'd be Mother Mary. This thing is sitting there at the Egyptian Museum in Cairo. It's a cosmic structure, it's not a tomb. And the urea or the cobras up top as rings of vibrational axis. And like the Russian dolls or Merkaba, they're layers. And again, empty jars are vessels for purified frequencies. They're reminders of the essences that you can't see, the actions that you must take that you can never see in order for you to get to that point in the middle. So now I'm just going to show you that the four of them that they have. This is Isis, or Mary, Mother Mary, Virgin Mary. This is Mary Magdalene, okay? This one here would be Neith, which to me, this is the symbol of both of the north and south node, which eclipses you, and to get to the entranceway, the black sun, the black hole, and a magnet. And then the one in the back is the scorpion, the temptations, overcoming temptations. As you can see, she's doing where she's pushing the ankh towards his mouth in temptation, if he's going to open his mouth or not. Is he going to take the temptation? So that's what Scorpio means. And that's one of the essences that we'll be talking about that you have to master. So remember, you have to know that this is not idolatry. It is a spiritual meaning, essences, states of mind that you must achieve in order to reach the pure love energy that awaits you. We'll go over them a bit later, but you have to know that physics that we see every day reminds us that we have these keys to get back home, but they are very well guarded. Again, the cobra. If your heart's not as light as a feather, the cobra is going to bite you. You can't get into that and connect to that pure love inside. So in astrology, these are called the fixed houses, as can be seen in the Dendra zodiac. So I'm pointing now to these women that are holding the four corners. They're fixed, see? Woman, 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 woman. And they have the four royal stars, the four we're talking about, like the Lion's Gate we just had, the sun on August 23rd. We'll talk about a little bit later. We just went through the Lion's Gate, but you have to look to the stars to understand them. And when you're feeling these essences at the same time. So the cobra on this Canopic Shrine is not just a guardian, it's the nodal serpent, keeper of the karmic axis, the bridge between wombs. So it watches the gates of reincarnation and decides by your waveform if you shall rise through the black hole of love or to be eclipsed and return to repeat. So you have options, but it's all on what you do internally. Like Ken said, you got to be that love. You got to be that unconditional love. And the only way to get to it is through unconditional forgiveness. Because if our waters aren't pure because we didn't do our forgiveness process, you're going to get bit by the cobra. And it's not literal, although you can get literally bit by a cobra. That's what this means. It's safely guarded. You can't get to that pure loving essence point in the middle. The other sides are carried by hawks. See them? And they're male and they're masculine, and they share across the other zodiac signs. And that points out exactly to the swastika, which is also the colored diagram that Kat shared with us. So this is all part of the circle of fifths and everything. Again, they're all essences of the four royal stars, the four watchers, the four faces of God, the fixed signs in astrology, and they're on the fifths. You guys remember, some of you remember this slide that we did of reincarnation. The symbol in astrology, which is part of Neith, are the two nodes of the moon. When in astrology, when the sun and the moon are in new moon or full moon and are close to these nodes, we get an eclipse. So that's the black hole. So these are exactly the same as the black hole you see in the magnet. These are the black suns people are talking about. I had somebody send me when it was right before his time to leave the visible, which I didn't know, but he sent me a picture in the sky that he's seen it, and that node was there and that black hole was there. When I edit this video, I'm going to add it. But this is you coming in one side and out the other. But you can choose how this happens by your heart, because this hole here is pure love. It's the ether. This hole, as we get induced by love, grows and sucking us in more, and that's why we cleanse. Because every atom in your body is now growing its black hole, which is love, which means it's going to feel that resistance of those karmic essences that we still have. So that's what's happening. So this is the Hopi Prophecy. So according to the Hopi Prophecy, and many people said this, the earth was seeded with four peoples, which entrusted with a sacred color, direction, and responsibility to uphold balance in the world. These four peoples, red, yellow, black, and white, represent not only races, but vibrational archetypes, each carrying a piece of the sacred hoop of life. The prophecy tells that it's in time of great crisis and imbalance, which we are. We just come out of the Piscean age and into Aquarius through the Phoenix rising. Thanks, Peggy. The four peoples must come together, join hands, remember their original instruction. This union, symbolized through the gesture of shaking hands, of forming a sacred cross, makes the healing of the earth and the reconnection of humanity to the Great Spirit. The handshake is not political, it is a spiritual, a recognition of unity, respect, and mutual guardianship of life. Only when all four colors of humankind come together in harmony will the sacred hoop be mended and the path to higher consciousness, to the Queen of Heaven, to the celestial womb, to be reopened. So on August the 23rd, so we're going through a Hopi prophecy cycle we do every year, but we're really going to feel them more and more as we start tuning into all the things we're experiencing that aligns with it, because you're going to start feeling these karmic lessons more and more in synchronicity with others. So on August 23rd, the sun aligned with Regulus. Okay, so that's the first one. That's the black man. And then on August 27th, which is today, Fomalhaut's at 10 degrees across. This is the forgiveness point. This is the water man. They call it the white man, but it's the water man, the last one to show up, which is we're in the age of Aquarius, which brings us together. This is the Hopi Prophecy. The sun aligns Fomalhaut on August 27th. August the 23rd, we had the Lion's Gate, Regulus, the black man is in tune. And then on August the 27th, the sun now aligns opposite Fomalhaut, which is today, which is people are talking about forgiveness. I can't believe how many people are talking about forgiveness today, in tune with the Hopi Prophecy, because the sun is opposite Fomalhaut, which is the royal star in Aquarius, which is all about forgiveness, John the Baptist.
Is the black man the earth man?
No, this is the earth man. This is the lion. The black man is where? In Africa, where the lion is, where Leo is. Don't forget the stars map the land. This is the land man, because Taurus is earth. Don't forget all these stories, they're trying to literalize them as actual people. Yes, we have the races, but these races are in each and every one of us. So the story is about the stars and how the age of Aquarius comes upon us, the man, which is who? John the Baptist, the forgiveness, the Aquarius that comes in. That's why they're waiting for the white man. What they're waiting for is the age of Aquarius, where we all go through the forgiveness process to clear our water. Because look, these are all fixed. Taurus is the earth. Leo is the fire. Scorpio is water. And Aquarius is air, Aria, ether. That's why it's water, the ether. And then on September 2nd, the sun is going to be at the 15, which is going to be square Aldebaran and Antares. So people that have desires are going to start feeling karmic incidences with them, because you have to let go of the desires. And then people who aren't getting along with the earth and mother of Taurus, they're going to get signs. And that's going to be on September the 2nd, because the sun will be at 15 degree. And look at Taurus and Scorpio, the royal stars are at the 15 degree mark. So this is the Hopi prophecy that's there. So the Hopi prophecy is a cycle in the stars, and we're upon those cycles currently. Again, August the 23rd, today, and then September the 2nd. And then when the sun makes it back around over here into Scorpio, right across from the 2, it's going to happen again. We're going to keep getting these signs, because we're going to start syncing up with these signs. So if you want to rise up, these are the essences that are in the canopic jars, stemming from the scenes all over the Egyptian walls and prophecies around the world. So Taurus is about nurturing stability. Regulus is about compassionate bravery. In other words, have a heart, because this is across from forgiveness. This is across from temptation. So compassionate bravery means be brave. Ask somebody for forgiveness. Teach them the forgiveness process. That's what a brave heart means. You can't use forced love. That brings karma. You got to use love, period. Love penetrates all. It's the finite needle that penetrates everything. Scorpio. So these are the 4 essences, the 4 canopic jars, essences where there's nothing in those jars, because they're states of mind. Transcendent abstinence, 100%. Abstinence in everything you can think of, because you're infinite. If we weren't reincarnating beings and we say, no, I'm going to have as much fun as I possibly can, and that's where we went wrong. We were going out in the path instead of in towards the pure love. And then this self-forgiveness. And this one here is tough, because self-forgiveness means asking everybody outside of you for forgiveness, because whatever they're doing to you is because of you, because we're all one. So you have to ask everybody forgiveness, because we are one. Asking somebody outside of you is asking yourself for forgiveness. So when you rise up above, and then you get to the constellations that are closer to the point in the middle, now self-guidance kicked in, guiding strength, healing wisdom, and inspirational freedom from those constellations above. So think of these canopic keys as your ability to strengthen beyond what you can currently remember, to attach the spiritual umbilical cord to the pure potential called love. In physics, we call it the ether, but you can't put this in quantum equation, because it is of no thing, zero. So I had AI draw this, and it came out beautifully. You can see the 2 cobras sitting there and allowing her to get to the pure love in the middle. This hole is in every atom, and it's on both sides of every atom, like in a magnet. And right now, this black hole is increasing in us because we're being induced by love. A stronger magnet has a larger black hole in it, because it bonds with people even stronger. There's more love. The serpent threshold, cobras, nodes, and the reincarnation gate. The cobra as guardian of the nodal axis, the north and south node. Eclipses as karmic checkpoints. The bite is symbolic rejection and return to incarnation. So you return, and you're going to have the same experiences where you can connect to this, and you can re-embody in this current body and completely heal your whole body, and that is a living truth. So the loving heart is the only frequency that passes into that black hole. So you got to access it through your own mind. The inside is going to be reflected by the outside. So this slide reveals the karmic checkpoint, the soul's judgment point at the gates of incarnation. But you got to pass those 4 essences to get in there. Last 2 slides of proof that Having this knowledge of pure love was called idolatry, if you can believe it or not. Only because if one thinks there's a physical being you are idolizing, then one can't broaden this connection. From this brother here, a very enlightened brother, he's always challenging people with what's written in the Bible. He said, who is the Queen of Heaven referred to in Jeremiah 44:19? We see in Jeremiah 44:18-19 that the pre-exilic Jews had burned incense and offered libations to the Queen of Heaven. Mark F. Smith says in the early history of God, Yahweh and other deities in ancient Israel that the Queen of Heaven mentioned in Jeremiah may refer to Astarte, the only West Semitic goddess bearing this title during the Iron Age, to Ishtar. Remember, you can see Isis in there, Isha is there, which is ruling goddess, or possibly some combination of the two. So I just want to go over these couple of little verses and show you what was in there. Because don't forget, these here have been through the campfire game, the telephone game, and lost its messages. Because people are trying to idolize a living being, but there's no living being. It's all essences, all leading to pure love. So Jeremiah 7:18, and we got this from the Tanakh, by the way. So when I want to understand it more, I go to the Tanakh. The children gathered wood, the fathers kindled the fire, and the women knead dough to make cakes for the Queen of Heaven, and they pour out libations to other gods to provoke me. And that's in Hebrew, Melechet Haya Shamim. So one means feminine form of king, but more deeply, sovereign function or divine active force. The heavens or the waters above aligning with Eris's essence, the phoenix, and a divine feminine energy, aka love, returning now to balanced cosmic order. So this verse describes an organized family ritual to honor the Queen of Heaven, which Yahweh sees as idolatry. It emphasizes that this was a communal structured act with every member of the family involved in honoring this divine feminine as its love. So if you're going to idolize the Queen of Heaven being something that is of being, then yes, it's idolatry, because it's not. It's in essence, it's pure love. And that's what's really said in the Tanakh, which is written in Hebrew, and I get AI to convert it for me. So Jeremiah 44:18-19, since we ceased burning incense to the Queen of Heaven and pouring libations to her, we've lacked everything and have been consumed by sword and famine. What this means, since we start burning that internal oil of love and we no longer using that pure love to guide us through forgiveness, then yes, we're consumed by sword and famine. Indeed, we used to make cakes with her image and pour libations to her. Did our husbands not know that we were making offerings to the Queen of Heaven? The people here defend their devotion to the Queen of Heaven, saying that things were better when they honored her love. Right. Remember, the her is not a literal being. It is all of us together as one in pure, loving state of mind. So in Jeremiah 44:25, thus the Lord of hosts, the God of Israel, Lord, remember, means ruling goddess, because this stems from the Sanskrit word Isha. You women have confirmed by your actions what you promised with your mouths. You said, we will surely fulfill the vows we made to offer incense to the Queen of Heaven and pour libations to her. Very well. Fulfill your vows, carry out your promises. This is a moment of divine irony. Yahweh tells them, go ahead, fill your vows, with the understanding that judgment will follow. So you can see the controversy back and forth of non-understanding. So the metaphysical insight. From the astrologos perspective, this moment in scripture reveals the suppression of the divine feminine, right? How long have we been suppressing the divine feminine? Thinking that the word Lord means a man. It doesn't. Lord means divine feminine. And the divine feminine embodied in Eris, Virgin Mary, Isis, and in every culture, Mictacawada, White Buffalo Kafun, Kali, Freya, Wan Yin. It goes on and on. The people intuitively followed her love-based rites, but the centralized priesthood of the time labeled it as rebellion, right? Because man wants you to follow man, not the divine feminine. So the result was spiritual disconnection symbolized by famine and sword, inner lack and external conflict. And that's all we have for today.
Can I react?
Yes, please.
With a certain interpretation of this story, because you call it idolatry, but it can also be said as worship. And everything you put in worship, you put above. And now I so much see that, for instance, the waters above and below, everybody, a lot of people think that are waters way, way, way up there. But the waters above are really above the field of inertia. So it's the water in the atmosphere.
Yes.
And when we put God and things like that, those essences, we put them in worship, we put them up there instead of in our heart.
Right.
and we are fish in the atmosphere. That's the real waters where we are in. Because we are, it's a realm of gas and light. So we are gaslighting each other.
You get it, Lex. You get it. You get it 100%, brother.
Yeah, man. There's so much coming to me, and it's all challenging. But in the end, I find, just giving an example, I was in a supermarket and I saw a graphical depiction of a bunch of grapes. And when I saw it, it told me this will be pulled from your behind, out of your behind. And on the way home, 2 scimitars were pulled from both of my sides of at the height of the solar plexus, which is Mars. And then it kept echoing, the grapes of wrath, grapes of wrath. And for some reason today, the word wrath came to me, and wrath means crown of olive leaves, the laurels, or crown of flowers. So I find the right expression for this message that I received. Thank you.
Thank you.